Welcome to day 4 of the BGC Masters at the magnificent Alexandra Palace. Do you know, over the first few days of this tournament, players, officials, crowds, even all our BBC crew have been wandering around this amazing venue in awe of its size and history. Since Ali Pali opened 139 years ago, it's been home to a racetrack, a trotting ring, a cricket ground, and recently the World Darts Championship. But what about its historical relationship with the sport of snooker? Well, here's Steve Davis and John Parrott to tell us a bit more.
Well, the first thing that strikes you about this wonderful Alexandra Palace venue is its vast and grandiose nature. It's like nothing I've seen in all the years of snooker, Steve.
Yeah, I think I've never seen as big plastic plants in my life.
It's absolutely amazing. But of course, this isn't the first time it's been used for snooker, but would you know that?
I've got the internet, I know. Horace Lindrum played Willie Smith and a century break was made. I assume it was Horace, but I'd have hated to have been the table fitter that had to hang the shade from the ceiling.
Do you know what year that was?
1936.
Oh, did you have a good seat?
I got knocked out in the semis. Horace beat me. The table was playing really slow and I think I got quite a lot of kicks on it.
Will you please just let it go? Let it go, honestly. It's a long time ago.
This is nice, isn't it?
Well, there's somewhere you won't recognise actually, because this is the players' lounge and the players can come in here and relax and bring their connections and a nice cup of tea and watch on the screens over there.
Actually, this is a Loughborough room.
Oh, right.
Last year, the BBC crew had their 75th reunion here, which was very, very nice.
Oh, top hill.
Yes. Got a bit of memorabilia for the snooker masters here. Like we've got a few of the players here.
I've got Ronnie O'Sullivan, Dings Youngwee, John Higgins,
Willie Smith, and then Horace Lindrum. The dress code was different in those days, wasn't it?
Not very dicky bells, old chap.
What a rum do.
So where have you brought me to now?
Well, we're playing in the West Hall next door, but this is the Great Hall, and over the years there's been loads of great things have happened in here.
It's great, isn't it?
Well, that's how it's got its name, and you don't get a great hall without a great organ. Look at that.
I bet you can bang out a great tune on that as well.
You certainly can. This room is as big as like a football pitch. It's major. We're standing in the centre circle here, and there's a plaque here, and below it is a capsule that they've laid when the Great Fire happened in 1980.
How do you know that?
It says so, the numbers on there. At the weekend, there's going to be a big model railway expo in here, so that should be good fun.
Fantastic. Here's hoping, far more importantly, there's not a points failure next door.
So that's just a little bit of history from Steve and JP, but as you heard from them, for BBC television, this is where it all began in 1936. The very first presenters, Elizabeth Cowell, introduced the early transmissions with the words, "This is direct television from Alexandra Palace." So on day 4 of the 2012 Masters, here's what's coming direct to your television this afternoon. Two-time Masters champion at Wembley, Mark Selby hopes to continue his love affair with this tournament. His record reads, played 13, won 11, lost 2. One of those victories came over Stephen Lee in the 2008 final. The talent from Trowbridge missed the last 3 editions of the event, but is now back in the top 16. We'll hear from the pocket dynamo Graham Dart, who has battled depression to become one of the world's top players. He's up against Ali Carter this evening.
You could be a millionaire and you could earn everything you want, #1 in the world, and be as happy as you think you should be, but you're not. You can still be depressed. It's nothing to do with that. It's an illness. It's a mental illness, and until people realise that, you're still going to get ignorant people who think, how can you be depressed?
And now that his war of words with Barry Hearn seems to have mellowed, we'll see how UK runner-up Mark Allen got on against Neil Robertson last night. But it's time to get today's show on the road. A cracking match in prospect between the world #1 Mark Selby and Stephen Lee. A little earlier, our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Walker, welcomed the players out into the arena.
Please welcome a player whose cueing action is described as smooth as silk itself. Winner of 4 ranking event titles, including the Grand Prix and the Welsh Open. A 3 times Masters semi-finalist. He reached the final in 2008. Here comes the talent from Trowbridge. Here comes Stephen Lee. And his opponent, one of the most colourful characters on the circuit. He's been in 3 of the last 4 Masters finals. Twice a winner in 2008 and 2010. He won his 2nd ranking event in China this season. He is the world #1. He is the jester from Leicester, Mark Selby.
Great reception for the players, and this matchup is a repeat of the final from 4 years ago. And Mark Selby has a superb record at the Masters, winning the title in 2008. He lost to Ronnie O'Sullivan the following year in the final, but took his revenge in a dramatic final in 2010, coming from 9-6 down to lift the trophy. Last year, though, wasn't so good. He lost in the first round to Mark King. Stephen Lee made his Masters debut in 1998 and appeared at the tournament for 11 consecutive years, with his best performance coming in 2008 when he lost to Selby in that final. But he slipped out of the top 16 and missed the last 3 years. However, he is back in the big time once again. But since that final in 2008, Stephen had lost to Mark on 2 other occasions they've met in competition. So plenty points to Selby, but Stephen will be hoping for a change of luck. We're going to join this in the first frame. Stephen Lee's at the table, trailing 24-32. Commentators are John Virgo and 6-time Masters champion Stephen Hendry.
One. Still not a formality to win the frame at this visit. Well, if the black goes, there may be a chance.
7.
Well, it does go.
Yeah, I thought he had a decent angle in the pink to follow through into the 3 reds and the black, but what's he going to choose to do it a different way? And he's chose to split the reds from a red, which
8.
is, you never guarantee position.
Eddie Charlton, the legendary Australian player, saying you never play to remove reds off a red. The reason being, you're not guaranteed to be on a colour, as we see there. Sorry about the Australian accent. Got high.
I'm selling, I'm going to try one. Scottish Australian, that doesn't work, does it?
Mark Selby, 8.
Now this one's going to be a little bit more difficult to get safe. I suggested the other time coming down the right hand side of the table, nestling on this red that's immediately below the black spot, but you can't do that now. He'd leave the red along the top cushion, so it's not going to be easy. Maybe 3 cushions and hit the red on the extreme left of the table. It'd have to be perfect, and he doesn't want to be too hard. Oh, he's misjudged it badly. That's not what he played. That's not what he played.
Stephen Lee's had a long hard look at the first cushion that he hit there, and obviously wasn't expecting the reaction that he got. Expecting it to slide a little bit. If it doesn't slide, it comes off at a more square angle.
Yeah, I must admit, it looked alright for me, but it certainly come off a lot square off the second cushion. But it might not be too bad, because this is a tricky red, and what makes it even more difficult, he's got a little bit of work to do with the cue ball, and that's why he's refusing it. So the best you can hope for when you're in a situation Stephen Lee was in was not to leave anything easy, and that's what he's done. good length with the cue ball. Just got to catch this thin. It's one of those you could just miss it on the way up and catch it on the way back, so they're usually a bit easier to play those because of the angle you come at it. And he's played this frame already going over 22.5 minutes. I don't think we'll see many long frames in this match. Both players are very capable when they get in amongst the balls, but sometimes it's the way the balls run that dictate how a frame is going to be played out. And this is an example of that.
And the red balls are now coming away from their safe positions where they were a few shots ago on the cushion, so first mistake could cost this frame.
Yes, and I think the black may just have come to his rescue. That was a dangerous shot that Stephen played there, nudging the red towards the corner. But I think the black has just come to his rescue. This time we'll be hoping to run the red into another red to keep it near the top cushion. But he didn't do it quite. Now what's going to come to his rescue this time? The hamper on the green. Once again, and a little smile there from Mark Selby. Stephen a bit fortunate there, but once that red didn't run into another one, it was always going to be in a potable position, or would have been, but for the green. It's pretty good to get it back to the baulk end, but he's left a pot on here and can go for it with a lot of confidence. The only red he could leave is the one he's playing. And funnily enough, that is the one he's left.
It sometimes happens when you have long bouts of safety, your potting eye leaves you a little bit. Both players just missed their long pots there by quite a long way.
Oh boy, much too thin. And I don't think he's got away with it this time. That's 3 poor safety shots in a row from Stephen. And that could very well cost him this opening frame.